remember Blue, the cute little parrot always trying to find his female mate Jewel, the last one remaining from their species? No? Well, that's not a surprise since they're dead, all of them. The macaw bird, or the spix bird, how it is also called, or better said, used to be, was declared vulnerable and in great danger of extinction in the 1980s. Since then, many people tried to help them by creating a social image for them, by writing books about their beauty, and by even creating movies, not only documentaries, but in fact also cartoons, such as Rio, a cartoon with which I personally fell in love with at first sight. And then I forgot about it, just as so many of us did. And just as so many of us, I never actually even thought about looking them up to see if they were truly extinct or it was just an idea the producers came up with and thought it would be catchy for the public. Nevertheless, they would have died anyway. In fact, they did. They were classified as extinct in year 2000, while the Rio movie appeared in 2011. But don't blame yourselves for not having known. Almost none of us did, save for the people who were desperately trying to save them, and the other party, who casually deforested all of their homes until they were completely wiped out. Why? Because when it comes to money, what's more important, a blue bird only saying cra cra, or a businessman telling you, I give you this sum of money if you do this? That's an orangutan falling from the tree, and he's hit by the bulldozer. So, considering all of this, are we really in the position to say that the planet is dying and there's nobody doing anything about it, when the ones fastening the process are the same species as the ones we see in the mirror every time we take a look at our own reflection? So please do tell, what's the actual problem? Endangered species, endangered ecosystems, dying people, dying races, melting icebergs all together. Or perhaps the actual problem is our way of reacting to all of this, our way of blaming it on each other instead of actually doing something. How about, for once, we stop talking and start acting? Not as an organization, but as citizens of this planet, as persons. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you will probably go take a shower with the clean water that most people in Africa only dream of having. You will go out, buy a snack, and then casually throw the plastic that took care of it and preserved it until it reached your hands. You will not think of where that plastic will get, what animal it will affect, or what plant it will suffocate. After that, you will go meet other species of your social clan. And I assure you that you will not think of the plastic that they used up until now, where that might have ended up, be that the trash bin or some poor random bush or even the middle of the road. But what you might think is using a gum, because we are humans and we care about our appearances. And the bad breath isn't really what you want to carry with yourself when meeting other members of your social clan. So you will chew on that gum because you like it or you need it or because at this point in your life it has become a reflex, just as throwing it or sticking it somewhere. Of course, there's always the possibility of throwing it to the bin, but just this time, let's say that you're in a hurry. You throw the gum without looking back. And just this time, let's say that you missed. You're in a hurry, so you will not get to see that little sparrow that just flew by, saw it and thought it was food. Nor will you see it die hours later because it got stuck in their tiny little system and killed them from inside out. You will never notice that. Just as so many of us haven't and will not notice how many animals have become extinct in the last few years. Or maybe you will. Let's say that in about 50 years, someone will notice that there are no sparrows in their city. At that point, they might think, poor birds, why did nobody do anything about them? Well, I wonder why. I wonder why nobody did anything about those poor random sparrows, or those poor bears that died because they no longer had food and a place to call home. Or those little white creatures our ancestors used to call owls. They said they were the symbol of wisdom, yet with all that wisdom couldn't survive the deforestation that killed all of their homes. But, of course, it would be exaggerated to say that in about 50 years, all of this is your fault. After all, you never did anything wrong. You lived your life as a just citizen, never broke the law, and never threw that gum, right? But not doing anything wrong doesn't automatically make you the good guy either. In fact, it makes you nothing more than just another one of the so many people saying that they wish the world was a better place, yet do nothing to create it so. In the end, words without actions are useless. So, yeah. What will you do? But anyway, going back to the beginning, what was I talking about? Birds, right. 10 years ago, I killed a bird, a moral. Also, 10 years ago, I realized that I was in love with nature and decided to protect it. As for going back to how I killed a bird, well, it's quite simple. I wanted to give it a hug, so I caught it, and it died of an instant heart attack. It was only years later when I realized that people, when catching birds, hide their faces because they calm themselves down when they see black. It was also years later when I realized that if you love something, you have to help it, not catch it. So I started helping as much as possible, helping pigeons and cats because they are all around us. And I know that what I'm doing cannot be compared to the really devoted people out in the world. But I'm doing what I can as a person. What about you? Do you love animals? How? What do you do for them? Do you love nature? Well then, show it. Go out, plant a tree, use less electricity, try a bike, throw your gum at the right place. And remember that every small action counts. And our planet is frail. We are here to protect it, not to destroy it. Did you know that a butterfly beating its wings can cause a tornado? Well then, be that butterfly. Spread your wings and cause a tornado of change. The passenger pigeon was once among the most common birds in the world. It went from 5 billion to 0. What about humans? Thank you.